Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk, I guess, we have our daily dose of dismal Disney. This is going to be our daily dose of dismal DEI. We're gonna talk about a couple of publications in the last couple of days. They're actually trying to do damage control for DEI initiatives because we know that companies are cutting them, slashing them, and trying to pivot back to profit all over the place because of the massive amounts of money that they've been losing, because of the massive amounts of backlash they've been receiving. They're trying to blame conservative activists solely for the failure of DEI, which is stupid. If you're supposed to be, this is ad week, right? You're supposed to watch the business of things. All these DEI initiatives have usually led to catastrophic financial losses for the company.
That's what it's about.
So stop lying. It's like, it's the conservative activists. They might have put your company in the crosshairs, but trust me, your customers knew. Your customers knew things were getting weird.
If it was working and they were not losing money and they were making tons of money, they wouldn't care what the conservative activists said. They would just continue to do it.
They never cared any other time.
Right, because it'd be like, well, look, I get to look good and I make money. You know, clearly those people were right. You don't change something that's working just because a couple conservative activists say so. No,
but when you lose half your customer base because you've pissed them off with heavy-handed politics.
Well, and a lot of the ones that did change recently were ones that seemed to have more of a conservative, customer base.
Right. They keep talking about John Deere and Bud Light, and I'm like, who do you think your target demographic is? Do you think baristas in Portland are in the market for a John Deere tractor?
Right.
I mean, seriously. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
So there's a list out here of companies that have lost massive amounts of money, and we'll take a look at this real quick. We haven't done umpteen million videos on these companies, but there's definitely a pattern here. They get into heavy-handed political messaging. Normies catch wind of it, and they're like, hey, yeah, I don't want to support that. I just want to drink my beer. I just want to drive my tractor. I just want a coffee. I don't care what your politics are. And for some reason, all these companies decided, probably because they have these young, stupid, recently fresh out of college, gender studies majors running their marketing departments. They think it's their job to make everything political, to tell the consumer what a bunch of bigots they are. And
it's working so well.
Even if they are bigots, nobody likes to be called a bigot.
It's half your market,
and we live in very polarizing times.
Or just don't make anything political. Just say, here's my beer.
Hold my beer.
Here's, let me tell you about my product. And if you want to buy it, great. If you don't want to buy it, great. Instead of putting politics and political, divisive things in it.
Yeah, so this list is coming from the Lazy Trader, and they just said, according to Nielsen, Bud Light sales dropped 26% in 2022. The stark reality serves as a crystal clear lesson. When customers reach for a beer, they're seeking refreshment, not a political pitch. Yeah, Nike, another one. We got Ben and Jerry's. Well, Ben and Jerry's, I actually will give more of a pass to Ben and Jerry's
because they've always been
activists. They've always been
was kind of their thing. So I mean, in that case, it's like they've always, like you said, they never hid that. It wasn't like they suddenly just jumped on this bandwagon.
But they got into the Middle Eastern conflict. Usually, it was like, hey, we give some money to plant some trees or something, and now they're like, but this isn't Ben and Jerry's not even involved anymore. It's Unilever owns it now.
Yeah, everything's owned by just a few companies, corporate. Pretty much.
United Airlines, we know what happened there. Levi Jeans, Victoria's Secret. Oh yeah, Victoria's Secret. Where
what happened there? Oh, because they were letting
we were gonna have body positive, gender affirming,
the body positive stuff. Yeah,
basically. I'm going to be honest, mostly unattractive models modeling the very ugly lingerie. It wasn't even like the sexy Victoria's Secret, which is what they're known for.
They're going to blame the male gaze. The thing is, a lot of people who complained about it were women.
Yeah.
Most guys aren't seeing other than the big swimsuit thing or like the angel, the runway thing where they wear the wings and stuff. Most dudes aren't even paying attention to it.
This is funny. The lingerie retailer's attempt to blend politics with panties served as a bold experiment in brand identity and consumer loyalty, illustrating the fine line companies must walk in today's politically charged marketplace. Disney is number 7.
Yeah, shocker.
They get like several paragraphs about Disney.
Who apparently told, Bo DeMayo to make his characters less gay, and then told the Inside Out people to make sure Riley was less gay.
Well, they're pivoting.
Make the 13-year-old girl less gay.
Make her less gay. That's not something you should have to tell the people working on your movie, right? Like, could you make her less sexual? I'm like, she's 13 years old in a movie for families. Why are we even going down this road? Starbucks. Starbucks has been going on. They've had numerous. It's so funny. They pissed off conservatives, and then they pissed off progressives. So they pissed off everybody.
At least they're equal in pissing everyone off. There's that.
Jack Daniels. Why the hell? Again, look at these brands. These are other than Starbucks, other than Ben and Jerry's. Like Jack Daniels.
What did Jack Daniels do?
Jack Daniels got into it. They said that. They mixed whiskey with politics. Yeah, apparently they teamed up with drag queens or something. Like it was like, I don't know. I mean, again, it's like you gotta kind of like. I mean, if drag queens like Jack Daniel, I guess. I
don't want to say problem with it, except like when you're like having them read to kids and stuff, and they're encouraging little kids to go to these events, or little kids to be dressing up like that and stuff like that. That otherwise, I don't really whatever.
Yeah, so basically, yeah.
They bit him in the ass, apparently.
Bit them in the ass.
Small town, big pride. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't usually see a lot of drag queens in small towns, but
that was a weird that weird thing with the one Superman comic that came out, I think last year. They were having a drag show in Smallville, and I'm like, what? No.
Why would they?
They wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Target, of course, we know the tuck
swimsuit and all that. Yeah.
Tuck in your tail.
In the bathrooms and stuff.
Coca-Cola.
They're training.
Well, apparently they're getting into it again with something else, and I forget what it is.
Gillette. Yes.
Toxic masculinity, right? Pepsi. Yeah, the Kendall Jenner thing. That was the whole thing with George Floyd and the rioters or something, I think.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. That was a while ago. Gap. I can't believe they're still around. They got into it. I mean, it goes on and on, right? Okay. So anyway, we know there's a laundry list, and that's not even including the many high profile disasters in the video game space, in movies, in, you know what I'm saying? Comic books, all this stuff failing.
Again, I want to point out that DEI, by doing this, you have literally caused the opposite of what you claimed you wanted to do.
Yeah. If you're trying to make more opportunity for marginalized people, now people are going to look at marginalized people and be like, oh, they're a diversity hire. And oh my God, that's going to, they're going to be all political and cost my company money. And
what you could have done was just, hey, we're just going to hire really qualified people. And we're just going to make sure we hire people. Not that you hire diverse people, but you have to understand there's a lot of people who are qualified who are diverse. You know?
Yeah.
But now people just see it and they're like, oh, you're a DEI hire. And it's really not fair.
No, that's not fair. And we've actually had people in the comments before. They're like, yeah, I kind of wish they would have just
it's actually exacerbated the problem significantly.
Yeah, it has. Because now what happens is every time you hire somebody that's not a straight white dude, there are going to be questions about whether or not they're actually qualified.
That shouldn't be the case.
Now, I will tell you, though, you hire somebody who is a grown-up to run your social media, because this is where a lot of this shit comes off the rails, is they get these recent college grads who can't read the room, and they think everything is college, and they think everything is Portland, and they go out there and start running at the mouth on your company's social media platforms, and they cause the damage. They exacerbate the damage. And, I think a lot of times, like, you could have gotten away with it too, if it wasn't for you.
Pesky kids.
Pesky kids.
Hey, listen, here's my take. How about you just don't do political stuff?
Yeah, right.
You just make a good product and you put a commercial out there to try to appeal to everyone. It's really not that hard, or appeal to the majority. It's not that hard.
So this is coming from Adweek, and there's another one too. This is on Triple Pundit, but her take is incredibly bad. But this is Adweek. The real reason why so many brands have broken their DEI promises, they're basically going through and they're trying to say that the reason these companies have pivoted from DEI is political activists on the right and them striking down affirmative action in June of 2023.
I've only ever heard of a couple of these people that supposedly were these conservative activists that are like, it was that one guy especially they were like saying was behind a lot of the stuff, people walking stuff back. You hear a lot about people from the far left, but you don't really hear much about conservative activists.
I mean, there are a couple that have been very vocal about it. I think what actually happened is it gave some of these companies now, like, well, I guess it's against the law to discriminate against white people now. So we're not going to do that. No, I think what happened was it took a couple of years for this stuff to work its way through the pipeline. And then we realized that, oh my God, none of this woke shit is going to work. It's going to cost us money. It's going to cost us hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, our stock is going to plummet. Look at Ubisoft, man. Their stock is like $2 a share now, down from $20 a share because their last couple of games have been freaking disasters. Because again, there are people out there like DEI, diversity and inclusion. Yeah, there are lots of black people in Japan in the 1600s. Don't you know? It was in a book I read. It's like, geez. Yeah, so they said that they're blaming this, but you get all the way to the bottom of this shit, right? The extremist backlash to corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion policies is a blatant effort to keep the gates of opportunity locked. No,
I don't care if people get a job and they have to not be straight, white, and male if they're qualified for the job. The problem is when you're leading with that. You're deliberately leading into it because you're trying to hit quotas, and then your immediate response is to call everybody bigots, and you know damn well that you were trying to do that. You know, there's a difference between organic diversity and inclusion and whatever the hell this shit's been.
Who's saying this is actually the president and CEO of a civil rights organization, the National Urban League, who believes that brands retreating from DEI have caved to pressure. They should have resisted. He claims that diverse organizations are profitable, thriving, resilient, and we will not allow a small but powerful and influential group of extremists to drag our country down to protect their own narrow interests.
Where? And the thing is, when the ones that have been brought up as examples were extreme backlash. Like, we're not talking about like, oh, some people got pissed about it. We're talking like there was like massive boycotts and the bottom lines were hit. Their stock sometimes tanked.
Yes.
You know, those were extreme examples, and it was outrage across the board. And people who weren't white, straight, or male were like, this is bullshit, you know?
Basically, these pundits are pissed off that the public has rejected the messaging. You know what I'm saying? They're mad about it. And also a lot of the people they're complaining about are actually like DI officers, HR officers. They're going to double, triple down on it. But at the end of the day, you have to show the financials. You prove that your DEI efforts are actually having a positive benefit to the bottom line. This has come from Triple Pundit. Tina Casey here says companies risk losing customers and employees as they move away from DEI.
They wouldn't be moving away from it if they thought they were going to lose money.
Exactly. The reason that they ran toward it is they thought it was going to make them money because they got hosed.
It's like these companies. Every June, they all are rainbowing the shit out of everything. Every, February, it's, Black History Month, like whatever. Every time there's any kind of month that's some kind of women's month or whatever, they are like, riding that as far as they can go because they want to, not that I'm riding women, you know what I mean?
You ride that woman as far as she can go.
They're trying to use people's identity, gender, whatever, to make themselves more money. But they're also doing it because they want to look like they're part of it. Like we're on your side. Disney is one of the main, and it all ends up at like clearance over at, their character outlets and their warehouses.
It's a write-off. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest. It's a write-off. You go buy a bunch of inventory, it doesn't sell. Oh, well.
They all put the boxes up when it was BLM and all that stuff because they don't want to be canceled. They said that, okay, for example, the thing with, Bob Chapek and then Bob Iger, it's coming out that, Chapek didn't sign it, but they were basically told just to sign it because it's better to sign it so people leave us alone and don't make a big deal about it. So they did. So how many of us are doing this because they really feel that they should be doing that? And how many places are doing this because they're just trying to make sure that you don't come after them because a bunch of you keyboard warriors spend all your day trying to find things to be pissed about. So it's easier to just look like you're part of you're part of it than it isn't. But are they making massive amounts of money on it? Well, maybe for that month they might sell a bunch of rainbow merch. they're just doing it because they want to make sure they're not canceled. And they figure, well, we'll make some money for that month when it's popular. But that's not something they stick to all the time, is it? So, no, because it's not something that makes them a lot of money.
So here's my thought on this, right? You're more afraid of some random Twitter users saying mean things about you on social media than you are.
They probably aren't going to buy your product anyway.
Yeah, you're more afraid of them than you are of losing hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars.
I don't think keyboard warrior activists were going to buy your John Deere tractors.
No, like what is it? Like that is the last brand. I think Tractor Supply did something too, didn't they? Where they were like, yeah, we're not getting political. I'm like, yeah, because most of the people that go to Tractor Supply, blue collar dudes. Farmers, right?
I, however, do love Tractor Supply, and they do have a whole section of women's clothing and stuff.
Well, they do. Farmer wives and ladies who like horses.
Who like looking like farmer wives. I mean,
okay,
no,
but I'm just saying, trad wives like Tractor Supply.
Critters there.
They do have calico.
Neon bought me some. They're so cute.
They're little fuzzy animals.
They're so fuzzy.
And they always have chicks.
They do. They're little baby chicks, and they're so cute. And I haven't bought any, but I've really considered having chickens just because they're so cute.
What will we do?
But I haven't bought it. I do want a rabbit too, but that's a whole other story. Anyway.
Why not both? You can.
I grew up in the country. Can you tell?
We had rabbits.
I do like Tractor Supply. I like it. I go in there on purpose.
Okay, so anyway, but you know what I'm saying? The demographic again is not Portland, right?
No.
So
I'm a country girl, so.
It goes on. Research shows that recent high-profile moves away from diversity, equity, and inclusion programs don't align with public opinion on the matter, putting companies at risk of losing customers and employees. I think the employees that would walk away in a lot of cases, the companies want them gone anyway because they're activists and they complain all the fucking time about every fucking thing.
A lot of these companies, like at least with like John Deere, and I know Tractor Supply, they usually hire people. Now it might be they're talking corporate, but like. In the stores and stuff, managers and stuff, they have to like know their product. Like they're people who have experience working with this stuff. A lot of them aren't going to be like put off by that. Sorry.
Oh my God, this is crazy. So this is clearly an academic writing.
The Gen Z and Millennial Report.
Yes.
Well, that's your answer right there.
So meanwhile, the business case for DEI is clear.
You mean the Gen Zs that they don't want to hire because they don't work?
The Gen Z and Millennial Report is among the recent research connecting corporate, social, and DEI practices with hiring and retention. Reasons for rejecting an employer or an assignment include factors such as having a negative environmental impact or contributing to inequality through non-inclusive practices.
Okay, great. Let's look at this report in 10 years when these Gen Zs have to grow up and get real jobs. And then, they're not going to reject an opportunity for a job over something like that. Because they need to pay for their shit.
No, they're complaining that they can't afford to buy a house. They're complaining that they can't find jobs that pay well enough. Well,
maybe they're working at places that do this stuff but don't pay worth shit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, these are the same people you guys are going on how you don't hire.
Dog walking is the only acceptable profession.
Wait, was it say that somewhere?
No, I'm just saying.
I thought it did.
No, because 9 times out of 10, it's like, what do these people do? I
go to Starbucks, get my coffee while I walk a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, well, they're complaining at Starbucks. I had to work 8 hours today. I'm like, bitch, please. Seriously. Like, I'm not saying it's not stressful.
I had to stop walking a certain dog because I swear to God, they're Nazi.
That dog is a Nazi.
It's a white dog, and I saw it bark
at a German Shepherd.
Yeah, it barked at another dog. It barked at a black dog, so it's clearly a racist dog. So I stopped dog walking that one.
Oh my God. Yeah. So they're talking about, Harley Davidson. That was another one. Yeah. And she's going after that, Robbie Starbuck.
That's the one that everybody kept, it's one person. So there's one person that you're like, this is this activist person, right? And you're like going on about how, it's all these activists. And when you ask them who, they can name like 2, it's ridiculous.
So this is how she ends it. So she's got this whole thing where she's citing all these academic studies.
She uses it to promote Harris for election?
Yeah, she says observations like these will be put to the test by voters as the 2024 presidential campaign heats up. The presumptive Democratic, this was a couple months ago, nominee is Kamala Harris, who despite her long list of qualifications for the role has been referred to as a DEI hire and a ding-dong by Republican lawmakers.
To be fair, she knows a lot about dongs from my understanding. But beyond that, it's like, look, she literally said the whole article was about DEI stuff, and that's going to make or break what people vote for. I don't think so.
No, I
don't think so.
This is
Tina.
imaginary la la land thinking. These people, these academics and these journalists and all these pundits are so fucking out of touch with 99% of America. I'm not even talking the extremists. I'm not talking the people who live out in the middle of nowhere. I'm not talking, the crazy. I'm talking
the majority of people.
The vast majority of people.
I don't think there's much fucking going on with her, but I could be wrong.
They are so completely removed from, like, you're telling me this woman has ever set foot in a Tractor Supply? Does she know what a John Deere tractor is?
Well, she used one as a picture. I think she knows what it is.
Google John Deere. Okay.
I'm Team Farmall personally, but
that is true.
It is true.
That is true. I know your family's all about the Farmalls, but I'm just saying, like, I don't believe for a minute this woman does she drink Bud Light? I don't think she drinks Bud Light. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have no clue. These people, they want to sit in places like Berkeley and LA and New York and tell everybody else in the country what they're supposed to think and do and whatever. And the stuff that they're bitching about has zero effect on them.
But it's funny because these are like the same. They're doing what they're yelling about, the conservative activists. They're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But it's okay when they do it. That's what I get mad about, like the whole thing with Zach Levi and stuff. It's like, he's allowed to have an opinion. You don't have to agree with his opinion, but he's allowed to have that. Voting Republican or voting Democrat are choices that you're allowed to have. One isn't inherently evil, and one isn't inherently good. It's just, you have a choice, and it's always been that way. And this whole idiocy that it's either, vote what we do, what we tell you, or be canceled is just so fucking stupid. But she's doing the exact same thing that she's complaining about other people doing.
I think it's hilarious that what prompted this was an article, a poll in the Washington Post. The Washington Post,
which never's gonna lean a certain way,
right? Which says that 6 out of 10 adults who read the Washington Post.
Well, they didn't say what they based this on or how big the poll was. Did they say like what who they asked?
No, it's just like, again, who are you asking? This is just, what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't dare set foot in middle America and slum it with the people that actually buy John Deere tractors.
See, for me, it's like, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care what you have between your legs, what you think you have between your legs, what you remove from between your legs, or, how you identify or any of that crap. I don't care. Like, are you good at your job? Are you qualified for the job? Are you an asshole? Those are the things I look at. Like, I honestly don't give a shit if there's a woman actually there's several women who work at Tractor Supply, by the way, and they know their shit, just FYI. I don't care if there's somebody who's not white working there. As long as they know their shit and they can help me and they're good at their job, that's all I care about. Like, I don't care. I'm equal opportunity that if you're qualified, you should get the job. I'm tired of this. You should only get the job, but you have to be these other things too. No, are you qualified? Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's where we're at,
And are you willing to work? And a lot of people
are you willing to work?
A lot of people don't want to work.
And that's are you going to be like, I saw a thing the other day on Facebook, and it was this lady, and she's like, people are calling off for the stupidest reasons, and she was like playing back like some of the stuff they were calling off for, and like, I needed like a digital detox day. And stuff like that. And then somebody's like,
digital detox.
I don't know if it's true or not, but
shut off Twitter for a day. There's your digital detox.
It might have been reenacting some of the things that happened. I don't know, but there was one that the boyfriend called and said his girlfriend couldn't come to work that day. Why? Well, it's his birthday. And then when she's like, can I talk to her? She says no. And these are all very like Gen Z-esque people. And I'm like, yeah, see, there you go.
Oh my God. I can't. This problem will be self-correcting. It is self-correcting.
Like I said, I want to see these polls 10 years from now when these Gen Zs have to actually, and millennials and stuff. And I'm not saying everybody. I want to make that very clear because there's a lot of people who are, I would say the older millennials aren't not so much, but the younger ones and then Gen Z are really, you see it more in those groups. And of course, that's not everyone. There are plenty of people who are not like that in any way, shape, or form. I'm talking about the ones who behave this way. And there seems to be enough that it's punishing everyone because it's bad enough there's articles about it.
We're going to see, like, I remember vaguely because I was pretty young, but I do remember the early 80s especially. There was hippies were a joke, right? Everybody made fun of hippies. And we're going to see the same thing with the wokesters. I think we're going to see in 5 or 10 years, there are going to be sitcoms, actually funny sitcoms. There are going to be sitcoms about.
There might be diverse sitcoms too.
They probably will be about just how stupid this.
Diverse.
Yeah, how stupid this whole thing is, and how stupid these people actually are.
People used to make fun of the PC people. Remember? Yeah. But that was like a running joke after the fact.
Oh, then you weren't allowed to. Then you weren't allowed to because oh my god,
fuck that.
Microaggressions. It's like, no, there's going to be macroaggression pretty soon because people are getting tired of it. I don't want to see that, but... No, I'm just saying, like, in general, people are actively rejecting it. It's like, no, because you were complaining about stupid shit for the last 5 years, you just shot yourselves in the foot. Mm-hmm. And now everybody's like, yeah, screw it.
That is what happened because everybody's, like, turning against people, and it's actually made people more bigoted, I think, than they were before, which is ridiculous. We were doing so well, and you literally just set us back. How far? And then you're telling everybody else that you invented diversity, inclusion, and acceptance. And it was like, bitch, please. You know? It was fine. You came in and just made it much worse. But we got to wrap this up because this is going very long.
We're going to wrap this up, yeah. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfish-.com. That's clownfish-.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfish-.com. Thank you so much for the support.